Hey guys, this is Josh F151 Tech back with another video. And in this video, I actually wanted to give my final thoughts on the Elsys Amplimax Ultra 5G cellular antenna. So let's actually get into this video. So as you guys can see here, I have the antenna in front of me, and it's actually behind some waveform 4x4 antenna boxes and some other waveform antenna boxes that I've actually tested out. So in my other video that I made on my channel about a month or so ago, I actually let you guys know that I was going to be keeping my regular setup, my setup that I currently have, which consists of a Chester Cheetah SDX75 gateway slash modem hooked up to a waveform 4x4 antenna that's actually up in the attic facing out the window down the road from me near an old truck stop where the nearest cell tower is. So that's my main setup that I've been rolling with for a while now, and I get like 6 to 700 on the download most of the time, and then on the upload I get like 20 to 30 and sometimes 40 to 50 depending on the time of day. So I tried this out, I tried this Elsys unit out, and I figured that I might get better speeds because this actually has PoE. It's not actually connected how I have my Chester Cheetah SDX75 gateway slash modem connected to the waveform 4x4 antenna running third-party cables like KMR 400 cables and whatnot. So this is just hooked up directly to a Ethernet cable, and then you use an adapter, and it's PoE, it's power over Ethernet. So I thought in reality that I would probably get better reliability, better gain, and better speeds, but that actually wasn't the case. And another thing that I want to talk about in this video is the price of the Elsys unit. It's really expensive for what it is, and I'm going to get more into detail about that in a minute here. But this is actually PoE. It's only PoE powered, and you don't have to have any, like third-party cables or anything like KMR 400 cables running to it and running back to a gateway or modem, because the gateway slash modem is actually built into it. It's actually built into the antenna itself, but the problem is it's actually outdated. It's got an old chipset in it. It's got an SDX62 chipset in it, which was actually older than the one that I used to have. I actually used to have a Chester Cheetah SDX65, and that was newer than this one, and I still had it hooked up to my waveform 4x4 antenna via cables. It wasn't PoE or anything like that, but I still got faster speeds with that than I got with this. So I definitely get better speeds and better reliability than I do with this. That's why I'm not using it. But I have talked about this before. It is very area specific, like what you're going to get with this service. I talked about that many times on my channel before. So it could actually be area dependent. It could be that I'm just in an area where it doesn't give me the best reliability and speeds with this setup with the Elsys unit, and I just get better speeds and reliability with my setup that I currently have. But the main reason that I'm not really happy about this is because the price is outrageous. For one, this is $700 new, and I realize that it has a gateway slash modem built into it. I realize that it's actually built into one, and you don't have to run many cables and all that because it's actually built into the antenna itself. But it's an older chipset, and they're selling it for like $700 on the Wireless Haven website still. And I say still because it's an older chipset. So I really think that they need to come down on the price. I actually got this one used. It's actually in really good condition. I got it on eBay through a third-party seller that's actually part of the Wireless Haven and part of Richard, which is actually the one that sells these. He actually helped me get it up and running, even though I'm not going to be using it. But I did actually comment on one of his videos on YouTube recently. I was watching a review of it, and he said that they have more of these in stock, and they have a lot of them in stock now. And I did actually comment on his video, and I actually told him that you can get an SDX75 gateway slash modem basically for the same price, and then you can buy an antenna, like a waveform 4x4 antenna on top of that, and you can get better speeds. And he actually replied back to me, and I wasn't trying to be rude to him or anything. I was just saying I think that they should come down on the price because it's an older chipset. It's an older gateway slash modem in here, so it's not going to perform as good as a newer chipset. It's really not. And he went on to tell me that well, you're getting both, both best of both worlds, basically. Sorry about getting my words jumbled up. But he said you're basically getting the best of both worlds. And I went back at him and I said to him, I said, well, how is that so? And he said, because you're getting a gateway slash modem actually built into an antenna. You don't have to run anything except for the PoE, the power over Ethernet. And I said, well, I understand that. I said, but you're using older technology as well. I said, you're having an older chipset in this gateway slash modem in this antenna, actually in this antenna. And I told him, I said, you're selling it for like $700. I said, so it's really not worth what they're charging for it. It's not really worth $700. And I actually have looked online, and Chester Tech Repairs actually has one similar to this, but it's an actual SDX75 gateway slash modem built into an actual physical antenna like the Elsys unit, but it's newer. So that tells you right there that, and that goes for like $700. So that tells you right there that this is actually outdated and they're selling it for like way more than they need to be selling it for. That's just my opinion. Now, I'm not trying to bash Richard or anything. He was very helpful when I messaged him. He was just as helpful as Chester Tech Repairs, and if I had to compare them both with their customer service, they're both top notch. But I did actually have to comment on the Elsys guys YouTube video, like I said, because I had to comment on there because I don't like to see somebody sell something for something that's not it's not worth the money. I'll just be honest with you guys, it's not worth $700. It's not even worth $550. I paid $550 for it, and I'm actually selling it soon, actually for a little bit of a loss. I'm actually selling it for $450 to a guy that's actually not that far from me. He's actually coming to pick it up, I believe, tomorrow from Facebook yard sale, because I don't need it. I don't want it because it doesn't work out for me. But it's not really a bad made antenna. Like I can pan around here and actually show you guys. It's not really a bad made antenna, and that little flap right there is actually where you put the SIM cards and whatnot in there. It's a really well made antenna, but it's just outdated. And another thing, for a $700 antenna, you don't actually get a J-pole mount with it. You don't get any kind of like pole mount with it or anything like that. With Waveform, you actually get a J-pole mount with theirs and whatnot. And I actually was going to say that to him on his YouTube video. I was going to say, because he was doing an unboxing of it and a review and like a pan around of it and whatnot. And he also had some like speed test videos on there and stuff with it and whatnot, and it's just not worth $700, guys. I hate to be this way, but I'm not going to stand behind a product when I don't think it's worth $700. It's just not worth $700, especially considering it's an older chipset. Like I said, it's an XDX62, and the SDX65 has been out. The SDX75 is out now, and they're actually working on another one. I believe it's actually called the SDX85 or SDX80, 85 or something like that. So I really don't understand why they continue to sell this thing, especially without a J-pole mount, for $700. I mean, I would not buy it. I would not buy it, and that's just my opinion. Like I said, it could be different for other people. Like there's other people that I've actually seen on YouTube that have actually purchased it and had like 1.2 terabyte speeds or something like that and whatnot. But like I said, it's very area specific on what you get with stuff. It's very area specific with cellular 5G home internet or cellular home internet in general. So some people will get better speeds than I do with it, or some people might not get better speeds like I didn't with it. So it just depends on your area. It really does, and it depends on your tower. It depends on how far away the tower is, how close the tower power is and whatnot. So I'm not really bashing Richard or anything. Like I said, I'm not making this video to bash him or anything. He was very helpful and he got me up and running with it and everything, and I really appreciate that. But it's just not going to work out for me, and I would not, like I said, I would just not buy it. I would not buy it. The better setup to me, and I realize what he was saying with that, that it's cheaper to buy it this way because you already have a gateway slash modem actually built into it. I get what he's saying with that, but it's outdated. It's an outdated chipset, and there's only so much you can do with firmware updates and whatnot to make it better. It's not going to really increase the speed better than an SDX 65 chipset or an SDX 75 chipset. It's just not up to date. It's just not as good. So, and there's phones out there that don't even really have SDX 62s in them anymore. There's older phones that still do, but the newer phones like my Google Pixel 9 Pro XL that I'm recording with right now, I'm sure that this has like an SDX 65 chip or an SDX 75 chip in it, the newest chipset in there. So that's the thing. There's only so much that like firmware updates and stuff can do. Like I said, it's not a bad looking antenna, but it doesn't work for me because it's outdated. That's basically what I'm trying to get out in this video. It doesn't give me better speeds than my Chester Cheetah SDX 75 gateway slash modem connected to my waveform 4x4 antenna because it's outdated, like I said. And I understand, like I said, what he's trying to say, that you get the package all in one, like you can use PoE and you don't have to worry about having a separate gateway slash modem. But the problem with that is that it's an outdated gateway slash modem in there. The antenna isn't really outdated, but the gateway slash modem and the chipset inside of it is outdated. So that's not going to be any good. I mean, that's not going to give you overall better reliability and speed. It's really not than the setup that I currently have, because I can do way more with the newer chipset. I can do way more with the SDX 75 gateway slash modem, like that has more bands that I could lock onto, that has more, it just has better all around specs. It really does. So like I said, I'm not really bashing Richard or anything. I'm not, making this video to bash him or anything. It is a really well-made antenna, but it's just outdated. And to be honest with you guys, with my experience with it, especially with it not coming with a J-mount or a mount, like a mount pole in general, I would definitely stay away from it. If you can get one used, maybe you could, get away with it and it would work for you. But I would not spend $700 on this, guys. I would definitely not spend $700 on this. Now I know, and he actually did say this to me. He actually said to me in the comment on the YouTube channel, on his YouTube channel, he actually did say to me, like I said, he actually did mention to me, he said, well, by the time you spend money on a gateway slash modem, a newer one, like a SDX 75 gateway slash modem, and then by the time you spend money on an external antenna, like a waveform 4x4 antenna or something, he said you're well over $700. And I realize that, but still, you should not be selling this for $700. This is not worth $700 in my opinion. It's definitely not with an older chipset. I could go on the Chester Tech Repair's website right now, and I can guarantee you guys that I would not see anything that he has that's an SDX 62 gateway slash modem, whether it be his Ninja or whether it be his Chester Cheetah SDX 62, if that's even still available, because it's older now, and they're moving toward SDX 65 and SDX 75 chips, and even newer, like I said, 85 or 80, whatever it's going to be called. So that tells you right there that he's not even selling SDX 62 chipsets or gateway slash modem or chipsets, whatever you want to call them, on his website. Chester Tech Repairs is not even selling them for that much. So that tells you right there that it's not even worth it. It's definitely not worth $700. It's really not. So that's where I'm going to leave it, guys. That's what I'm going to leave it at, and I'm going to end the video on that. Like I said, I'm not bashing Richard or anything, but I really think that he needs to come down on his price on this. I really do. I think that it should be no more than $500. I really do. And in a way, that's a little bit more than what I would pay for it, actually, honestly, to you guys anyway. I'm just being honest with you guys. So but that's basically all I got, guys. So I just wanted to get this video out there. Like I said, I just wanted to touch base on this before I do actually sell it. Like I said, I'm going to be selling it to somebody that's actually going to be coming tomorrow, I believe, and I'm going to sell it and get rid of it because I don't really need it. It doesn't really work out for me, so I just wanted to get a video out and give my last and final thoughts on it. So that's about it. But anyway, yeah, guys, like I said, just wanted to get this video out there. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. And until next time, guys.